20 years ago, I threw a rave on the battleship, the USS Little Rock in Buffalo, New York. On that. And this is that story. None of this was here 20 years ago. They built this all up as canal side, and the ship was actually much farther away. It was way down the river that way. Luckily, my friends actually took some footage. You'll see that it looks completely different. The ship looks the same, but everything around it looks different. It's absolutely crazy to be back here. It brings back so many memories. Some good, some not so good, but either way, fantastic nonetheless. Just imagine being 17, 18 years old, throwing a rave at night on a battleship. For those of you that don't know what a rave is, basically when I was younger, the raves were fantastic. You would, you'd see a flyer, it'd be all cool looking. It'd be super designed, very, very well, usually psychedelic in some way, shape, or form. And then it would show, you'd have a phone number that you'd have to call, and on the phone number would give you the location on the day of, and you'd drive there, and it was mysterious, and they were in abandoned warehouses, and they were anywhere where you shouldn't go. I'd say some of the culture was in it because of the drugs, because there was a lot of ecstasy in at the time, but for a lot of us that wasn't the main focus. It may have started that way, but for me, by the time I got to this point, with the ship throwing the rave, I threw a couple. At this point, for me, it was about the music. It was so much fun. I was so involved in it. I just loved the music so much. I just wanted to be a part of it without being messed up all the time. So I thought I would start throwing raves. And man, was it fun.
It all starts, guys, your whole career. This is where. What is that, Joe? Don't.
That's me. And that's my wife, Mariah. Nearly 20 years ago.
So I think they got the bar's not opening from this. Oh, it's so precious. This is our ship. Pretty groovy.
One of the great things I loved about throwing this party was all of my friends getting together, supporting one each other. I booked the sound and I booked the DJs, and I had people. We had this huge wall of subwoofers. My friends were the DJs and I was the promoter. It was just a great sense of community. We were all helping each other out. It was really great. Oh, this brings back so many memories. Granted, we weren't supposed to be down here at the time, but we certainly visited it. I didn't have a lot of time to monkey around on the ship the day of. I was just kind of putting fires out and making sure everything was going well. But I know a lot of my friends had a lot of fun.
Carry your bums in the way.
If nothing else, I certainly miss the friends and the friendships that I had throughout this whole era, I guess. Motion Sickness 2. I don't actually have any footage of that, but in that one, shortly after the show, like a week or two, I was involved in a car accident, and shortly after that, I was found to have cancer. So I spent quite a while, about a year in chemo and getting that all settled, and then it took me 10 years to get the money to do a blues festival. We'll do that one in a later video. But you just got to kind of make the best of it. Now, I don't see it, I mean, financially it was a failure, sure. I didn't make a ton of money on it, but I had a lot of fun, and I did learn a lot. And a lot of the lessons I learned from that early show I used in many other entrepreneurial things that I've done. So you always got to try and keep positive and learn from what you can. If it failed, it's because you made some mistakes. Figure out what those mistakes are to move forward. Don't forget to live, laugh, and love.